help me. Always have to do things 3 times. Come in.
I call to order the New Kent County Board of Supervisors September 28, 2022 work session to order. Ms. Watkins, will you call the roll, please?
Mr. Evelyn?
Here.
Mr. Tiller?
Here.
Ms. Page?
Here.
Mr. Steers? And Mr. Lockwood?
Here.
Good morning and welcome. As you can see, Mr. Steers is not here this morning. I ask that you keep him and his family, and especially his daughter, in your prayers over the next few days as they're taking some medical emergencies. All right. First item is FY22 budget transfers. Thank you.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you. It's so nice to be back. Before you, it's just a typical year-end transfer for fire rescue. It's cleaning up at the end of the year to make sure no one has any negative balances. But feel free to ask any questions you may have.
Anybody have any questions, concerns?
Like she said, to make sure nobody had a negative balance.
Mr. Chair?
Yes, ma'am.
I move to approve the FY22 budget transfers as presented.
Thank you, Ms. Page. Other comments? Ms. Watkins, will you poll the members, please?
Mr. Tiller?
Aye.
Ms. Page? Mr. Steers? Mr. Lockwood?
Aye.
And Mr. Evelyn?
Aye. Thank you. Next item, Pine Fork Park appropriation request. Mr. Hathaway.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of the board. Before you is a request to appropriate $12,034 from the capital fund balance to pay for professional engineering services offered by Silver Core Land Development Consultants, and this is for the Pine Fork Park construction project. This purchase order with Silver Core was closed out in 2022. There is one more final outstanding payment, but because the purchase order was closed out last fiscal year, we'll need a new appropriation of current year funding to pay the final invoice for the Pine Fork Park engineering services.
Thank you, Mr. Hathaway. Are there any questions?
Just one. Did we finally get everything straight with them as far as?
This is a negotiated payment. The contracted amount is double that, but through our negotiations with staff, we've settled on paying half of the final balance. As you recall, there were some design failures at Pine Fork Park. One of the BMPs blew out, which we had to go back in and re-engineer that structure. We don't feel we should be liable for paying the additional costs of the redesign. Therefore, this is the settled upon amount.
Thank you.
And everything will be cleared and finalized after this negotiation. Is that correct?
For engineering services,
yeah.
We're still talking to the contractor, but yeah.
Any other questions for Mr. Hathaway? None, I'll entertain a motion.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, sir.
I move to appropriate $12,034 from the capital fund balance to pay the remaining balance for the professional engineering services to Silver Core Land Development Consultants for the Pine Fork Park construction project.
Thank you, Mr. Tiller. Ms. Watkins, will you call the members?
Ms. Page? Mr. Steers? Mr. Lockwood?
Aye.
Mr. Tiller?
Aye.
And Mr. Evelyn?
Aye. Next, site selection for the new animal shelter project. Mr. Hathaway.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of the board. I'm also going to invite the sheriff and Chief Bailey up if you'd like to come.
I know the office has.
Oh, yeah, the
We left Virginia Beach at 5:30 to be here with you.
Thank you, didn't bring back the.
Left it in the car. Virginia didn't win.
Thank you. The request today is authorization to proceed with some preliminary engineering and consulting services in order to confirm the site is suitable that we're looking at, located at the Newton County Airport. In your packet, you have information on the property, the location. It's accessible by Ashland Farm Drive. I'm sure most of you are familiar with Dr. Bennett's property. It's adjacent to Dr. Bennett's property on the east side of that property. The property consists of just under 7 acres. It's actually 2 parcels. It would be accessed from Ashland Farm Drive. At this point, we're in the very beginning stages, and we haven't expended any money to see if this site will work for us. But we would want your authorization prior to initiating one of our on-call consulting contracts to determine some of the things that we need to determine is, will the property perk? Will it be suitable for septic and well? I understand there may be some additional requirements for a kennel septic system, and we just want to ensure that soil can support that. Also, we want to ensure that we're not violating any FAA regulations, any Virginia Department of Aviation regulations too. As you know, we receive a lot of funding from those entities, and we don't want to put us in a position where we have to pay anything back. So that will be part of our due diligence, is to confirm that there's no violation of any of their requirements. Anything like that?
We have been looking at a number of sites throughout the county and honestly stumbled upon this being county property already. It's fairly flat as New Kent goes. I think it would be an opportunity to take advantage of, and if we miss this opportunity, I'm not sure how soon we could move forward with acquiring other properties.
Anybody have any questions or concerns about moving forward with study? Yes, sir, Ms. Lockwood.
Just curious, thinking about the animals and sounds from an airport. I know it's not like Richmond Airport, but is there any concern about? I know my dogs get freaked out with any kind of loud noises and stuff like that. I'm just wondering if that's an issue or a concern with this location.
We had the sergeant from Animal Control go up with us, and with as few flights coming in and out of the airport as they currently are, he said he did not believe that would be any point of contention. In addition, for the citizens that live in that area, as far as any animal noise, the interstate runs right there, and you could hear the interstate from the site fairly strong. So I think that would overcome any animal nuisance noise.
I know that at some point we had discussed the prospect of extending runways and allowing for larger aircraft. So, just keeping that in mind and consideration. I mean, I know a lot of that can be overcome with sound insulation and stuff like that inside the building, but I would imagine there are going to be outdoor dog runs too. So, something to think about.
Are we looking at utilizing the whole 7 acres?
Well, that's going to be part of the study that we'll do, is actually how much of that land will we need. I think in a perfect world, if we were dealing with a square property, we would probably only need about 2 acres. But because of the shape of this parcel, we may need a little bit more. But that's what we're going to look at. One other thing that will be involved in this process, too, is amending the airport master plan, which again goes into the process for the sign-off with the state aviation. And I have a copy that I'll pass out of our current master plan. Well, this is a map from our current master plan. One thing that you'll notice is there is no proposed use right now for the site in question. This is not an area where we're planning to do any new hangar improvements or construct any facilities there. So I don't think what's being requested is impacting any future development of the airport.
And if I may, we would continue to honor Dr. Bennett's access easement to that runway as it's under court order.
Yeah.
So we might. We'll be
Anybody have any concerns?
Maybe not a concern. Did you talk to any of the neighbors around there by any chance? Any of the residents?
Not until we get confirmation that this is a site you're willing for us to consider. Then if we get the go-ahead, then we will reach out.
All right. I don't think there are any concerns, or I think we'll move forward and with the study, and it's county land, so that's something that I didn't even really think about that. Glad y'all looked into that. That's a good possibility, and hopefully we can make it work. We can. If we can't, to start again, try over. Thank you.
Do we need a motion?
Is this something we need a motion for? I did prepare a motion in the packet. And if it's just a consensus to move forward,
I don't think we need anything. Do we move forward?
No, it can operate by consensus. That's fine with me. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Any other business?
Nope, have a great day.
I think we have to go in closed session. We have a motion for that? Huh? Oh, you said on my, that was the problem. You should know better about that.
Mr. Chairman?
Mm-hmm.
I move to go into closed session pursuant to section 2.2-3711A.1 of the Code of Virginia for discussion concerning the salaries of specific members employed with the New Kent County Sheriff's Office. And, Mr. Chairman, I also move to go into closed session pursuant to section 2.2-3711A.5 of the Code of Virginia for discussion concerning prospective businesses where no previous announcements has been made of the business interested in locating its facilities in the county.
Thank you, Ms. Teller. Ms. Watkins, will you poll the members?
Mr. Steers?
Aye.
Mr. Lockwood?
Aye.
Mr. Tiller?
Aye.
Ms. Page? And Mr. Evelyn?
Aye. We'll be going to closed session, but we won't be taking any action after we come out. Hey, Ryan, I got to take a few phone calls.